you can start.
All right, Kim, you going to record this?
Yep, hold on. Let me get to record.
Just tell me when.
Okay, we're good. It should be saying recording, right?
Yes, it does. Okay, let's call the meeting to order on Monday, June 15th at 3 o'clock. We have to amend the agenda to add the Humane Society contract and I think Jack Breyer. And I think that's it. So will somebody make a motion to adopt the agenda as amended?
Before you do that, then you got to amend the agenda to move both Tom and Jack to the top of the agenda to also.
Okay, and then we're going to move Longview first and then Jack second, and we'll move it between 3 and 4. Okay?
So moved.
All right. So second, do we have a second to that?
Second.
Okay. All right. All in favor of the adopting the agenda as amended, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Okay. All right. So we have the minutes of June 1st to approve. Do we have any additions or corrections?
So everything this time was spelled correctly.
That's because Wendy did it.
Well, if we don't have any additions or corrections, somebody make a motion to accept the minutes of June 1st.
So moved. Second.
Okay. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor of approving the minutes as presented of June 1st, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. The warrants, I signed the warrants early this morning. There was nothing there that was out of the ordinary. I did ask Kim if the correction of the salary for James was done, and she said that they did dock him the 5 hours that he got paid erroneously. So that's all I can say on the warrants.
Just on that one thing on 3, that's the second time that approve a second person has been on there. That's already.
Yeah, but I think Bill's got to take that out, and we already did that, Stan. You're the second person in the event.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm just saying that should be removed. That's the second time that's been on there.
Yeah, I noticed that last time, and I didn't say it. So
Say again, what is that?
where it
Under
says
number
warrants,
three,
you say and approve a second person, and we had done
Oh,
that
yeah, I'm sorry.
a couple
Yeah,
of
I'll
meetings
take that off.
ago, where
Yeah, that-
if I can't do it for whatever the reason, Stan goes ahead and.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so now we got Longview.
In Longview was Tom. What was the name? Tom?
My last name is Groves, like Orange Groves.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so Tom, Alan, you want to handle this thing?
Well, I just wanted to mention to Tom, that map that you sent to me,
Yeah.
I sent that to Kim, who's running the meeting, so she can put that on the screen if you want to use that as a point of reference. People
Okay.
should be able to see it.
Okay, great. So I guess I was contacted to come out and take a look at your village park. And I was sort of directed in terms of where there were invasives. I work for Longview as their botanist and their woodland services division manager. So we do a lot of invasive treatments around the state of Vermont. I work for the Wildlife Refuge up in Swanton. I do a lot of jobs for the state, and then private landowners, municipalities, really. play.